Release the Kraken.
Do it again.
Release the Kraken.
The danger, the daring, the challenge, the courage. Clash of the Titans. The risks, the rewards, the terror, the triumph. Clash of the Titans. The odyssey of the warrior Perseus. Through wonders no man has seen and horrors no man has faced. MGM presents Clash of the Titans. Rated PG.
Starts Friday at the Century 25 Man's Birdcage Walk, Sacramento Drive-In, Stockton Royal.
Oh my!
Sad Wolvie.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hope you're doing well out there. Welcome to Talk Hard Tuesday. I am Pops, and let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Hope you're doing well. Things are going well for you out there with me. As always, one of these great co-hosts here on the old Talk Hard Tuesday. Stone Cold Loki's in the house, brother. What is going on? What is going on?
I was just waiting to talk about this movie, brother. And what a great one. Clash of the Titans. Holy crap. I grew up watching stuff like this. Stop motion animation. Movies like this, movie like Jason and the Argonauts, absolutely revolutionized the way they did special effects. So I am ready. Let's go.
Oh man, I'm so thrilled too. Yeah, it was. I mean, I have strong memory that my mom had taken me. I don't know why I got drawn along for a bridal or baby shower. Don't remember which, but me and another boy were stuck off in some room. We're in middle school, I think. So like 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13, 12, 13. So I didn't see it in theaters. It had just come out of VHS. So there's 2 VHS tapes. This guy's name was Troy. We ended up having no social interaction all the way through high school and like that. It's just funny how this one memory sticks with me. It was First Blood, it was Rambo, and it was Clash of the Titans. Hadn't seen them before, popped them in, watched them. My life was never the same. It's like, wow, this is amazing. I'm totally down the rabbit hole. Of course, Sword and the Sorcerer's kind of come out. Conan movies got me to Excalibur. It was kind of a gateway film. Oh, it was such a gateway film, and such a huge part of growing up was mythology. Yeah. I mean, I was really into all that so much, and we can definitely need to talk about briefly. I know IRONCASTER wanted to bring it up, so hopefully he can still join us. We haven't heard it. Let him know he's okay out there. Hopefully he is. He wanted to mention the sequel, or the remake, rather, the reboot. And I have a little bit of a hot take on it. I did watch enough of it. So
speak of the devil.
Once, say his name twice. There he is in the house, the man in charge. How you doing, brother? What's going on?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Just hot as heck here. I had to hop in the shower, get myself washed away from the grime and dirt of the day.
I can't believe the dude that's from Michigan is talking about dude from Texas and Florida about how hot it is. No offense, dude, but
well, hey, I'm built for the cold, not for the heat. Here's the difference.
It's all that.
You know, that reminds me of when I moved to Missouri, and that first news station I watched where they were like, it's going to be a scorcher tomorrow, folks. 86 degrees. And I was like, silly Missourians. 86 degrees. Yeah.
Man. I'd love some 86 consistently, especially if I could get a little breeze going. Oh
yeah.
Humidity's just killer. So, but listen, man, I hope you're doing all right. Clash of the Titans. We'll get into our Kaijune a little bit. talk about a couple things this month. It'll be kind of fun to do. I've shared my first time watching the movie. This had been out for a long while for you. So do you have sort of a gateway path of how you ended up down the old Harryhausen Clash of the Titans sort of group?
So for me, this was one of those movies that teachers would always just kind of throw on whenever it came time to talk about Greek mythology. It's like, oh, this is the perfect thing. It's just easy enough. We'll throw a movie on, and this will give us the gist of all that, and it counts for history. So this is one I've seen numerous times throughout the years, throughout my childhood. It's always kind of stuck with me. And then you have shows like Malcolm in the Middle using little snippets of this for the opening intro to that. So it's like it's always kind of getting referenced, getting little nods, always kind of getting brought up here or there.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was definitely 'cause I was telling Loki, I saw this when I was right at like 5th, 6th grade kind of thing. And then, like you said, yeah, they would be thrown on later on in late middle school and high school once it was out on VHS more wide, and people would this was in the rotation of those. I guess it was considered safe back then, folks. I know there's boobies in it, but it's like it was considered safe back then. Like we just weren't phased. We're like, okay, yeah. So yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. I will say that I was always oblivious until I was significantly older, and I don't know why, but I never had any sort of like exposure enough to Laurence Olivier to appreciate what a big deal he is and what a big deal he was being his movie. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, he was just Zeus. I never even like put it together that Laurence Olivier is supposed to be this massive stage and screen icon. It's such a big deal for him to be playing Zeus. I did not get any of that, and I still don't have like a massive, sort of like fondness of Lord. He's fine. Is it okay? Just I don't know about you guys, but of all the gods and also that you kind of put at the top of the mountain, it was not as big of the weight wasn't there for us as kids.
No, I absolutely agree. It's like, he's just Zeus. When I saw this, he was just Zeus. And yeah, as I got older, I could be like, oh, well, that's Laurence Olivier. Um, but still, even like after that, you're just like, oh, it's Laurence Olivier. Oh, he did some stuff, didn't he? He did some movies and some stage work. And it's one of those things that's lost to time kind of now, unless you're a huge um, video file where you're just like everything you've watched, everything, and you can appreciate everything he ever did. It's still just, oh, well, that's Zeus. Okay, he's Zeus. All right, he did a good Zeus. Perseus. Yes, we get it. Perseus.
So yeah, that was definitely a thing. And again, just we
I
talk
think he
about
took
it.
Ironcaster out.
Wait, what happened?
I'm
It
still
did.
here.
It did to him what you do to
Oh,
me.
what is going on?
He got Loki.
He did. He got zapped. Let's see. Let's see. We put that back. There we go. Welcome back, Ironcaster. Welcome back, Ironcaster. Any comments about Zeus before we go further?
See, the issue for me with this movie is so many of the actors from this film I haven't really seen outside of a lot of other stuff. I mean, yeah, sure, you have like for example, I think Maggie Smith, who's been in so many things, is kind of perpetually just this elderly matriarchal figure. But for me, when I go back to this movie, these are the gods. This is Perseus. These characters are sort of set in stone alongside these legends that they're retelling.
Gotcha.
Burgess Meredith was big.
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say,
me.
do you know who that is next to Perseus?
Burgess Meredith was big for me.
Yeah,
Because I watched,
Penguin.
Rocky, the Penguin. I grew up watching the Batman series, so seeing Burgess Meredith in this, I immediately knew who he was, even as a kid. I'm quack, 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 or it's over, Rock. Nothing's over, Mick. Just give me something to drink.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well, let's say hello to this wonderful chat. You guys are amazing, coming in before us in some cases. I have to be honest. That's good. Then, of course, doing that is Snorty, holding the door for everyone, saying hello to all these humans and critters out there. So, hey to you, Snorty, you wonderful polar bear, you. Great to see you, my friend. And Penny as well, holding down a chair in the front row there, doing her thing. And we appreciate her. Shield Wall's in the house. Great to see you, Shield Wall. Thank you so much, man. He's been a big friend in all this journey too. Great movie indeed, my friend. And Louise Sparrow's in the house. Great to have her back. And if you guys were not here with us recently, we did confirm with Louise. She will be joining us for a Ghibli film at the end of July. So make sure you put that on your calendar. So the Talk Hard debut of Louise Sparrow will be in the house. So that's kind of exciting. I always love that kind of stuff. Claude is in the house. Great to see you, Claude. Hope you're doing all right. Oh, look at all these emojis. That's how you do it. That's how you put in the little avatar, stuff like that. Cool. Fred's in the house. Great to see you, Fred. I think what makes Clash of the Titans such intrigue movie is an educational movie focused on Greek mythology. Yeah, very much so. Like, it definitely gives teachers that sort of like in that they need, like Ironcaster, you were saying, like it easily is like the precursor to get kids hooked on, hey, you want to learn about mythology? I got this movie I can show you. And it's such a great entry level point for kids. So she says, yeah, I begged my mom to take me school night. Oh, that's cool. I didn't get to go. I don't even remember how we didn't see it at the Dollar Theater. Like, that was usually the thing. You know what? It's a little bit early. It's a little bit early, right? Because it's 81 or is it 80? It's 81.
81.
So 81. But once you get to 82, again, it's what 82 is like. I'm so blessed because once you got to 82, I was like dumped off. I remember vividly being dumped off and seeing those movies in the theater. I think late 81, probably sometimes, but not for this. Didn't see this in the theater. So yes, see here, lots of hellos and back and forth. And Dragon Slayer. Ooh, Dragon Slayer.
Yep.
Yeah, that probably needs to go into the back burner for a year or two from now for some purpose, or a kaiju reason, just for having kaiju reasoning out there is Dragon Slayer. And yeah, haven't watched that in so long. So Snorty's Throwing Down says, as a friend of mine once said, that two large-breasted women hugged each other. Clash of the Titans. And my gosh, that is beautiful, Snorty. That is beautiful. It's beautiful. That is beautiful. My youngest son was 3 months old when this was released. Oh, Penny. Oh, so sweet. Let's see. And they were talking about the temperature. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jason the Argonauts. I know that's a huge win as well. That's actually a big favorite for Arwen Avalon. So I've always wanted to earmark some time to talk to her about it, but just it didn't work out. So
it's one of mine too. Love Jason the Argonauts and the Golden Fleece.
I always saw these two movies as sort of a pair. Like you just have to put the two together.
Yeah, and it's funny how like Jason the Argonauts was around for quite a while longer before this, so it's not like people living through that connected those dots. But for us that came along later, I think we do. Mm-hmm. Snorty, well, I saw Spartacus, of course. I've seen it a couple times, but when you're, I guess, 11 when this came out, right? And I saw it probably just a year or so after. I hadn't seen Spartacus yet. And if I did, I still wasn't like following those type of dramatic actors close enough to know. But somewhat of his stage presence and his resume was a big deal for like the general audience. Like that was a big get. But for us, it just doesn't make sense. So the scene with Medusa, the glowing red eyes, it's very scary scene. It was very intense for sure.
It's easy to see how that could be for kids, especially. Like there's so much build-up, so much mystique and horror around Medusa. This is, one of these iconic pieces of the film that is coming, for one thing, nowadays. But you have all the build-up. You have such perilous need for this, where everything is resting upon the little shoulders of this monster. That will be the salvation for all of Perseus's problems. And the challenge that he has to overcome in order just to achieve this is so paramount. The stakes are as high as they could be. The love of his life lies in wait.
Yeah, and I just love the motivation of that and the adventure and the quest setup that we could get for other things. Obviously, again, look, you were talking about the mythology thing. Like if you came away from this and you hadn't already, you end up down the rabbit hole with Greek mythology. Next thing you know, you find out the labors of Hercules and other stuff, and you're like, oh man, this is down the rabbit hole for a kid especially.
Oh yeah, and it gets you into other mythology. You can get into Norse mythology, and a lot of it echoes what Greek mythology is just like the Romans did, just like the Norse did. A lot of the same characters, just with different names that have the same backstories. And there's all kinds of cool stuff that you learn once you start digging into more and more mythology.
Agreed. Shaggy's in the house. Always great to have a Shaggy in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Yeah, I don't. So the thing about him in this is actually pretty tame. I know, Ironcaster, I will let you at least bring up the sequel or the remake rather at the very end, because I did watch the key scenes from the 2010 remake. I did not watch this movie, and I cringed and hated what I watched. I hate this movie. I hate that movie. I will give you guys, please don't let us get out the door without me ranting and raving about how and why I hate, because I don't know that my take is the same as everybody else's would be, but
Well,
I
I'll
cannot
be honest.
stand.
I didn't get a chance to fit that one in, so I'm not gonna be able to touch it. I haven't seen it in like 10 years.
Oh, it was brutal, man. I tried it was just on. It was on like Max or something, and like just let it play in the background. So even when there were key scenes, then I just kind of fast forward to another key scene, and ugh.
Do you know about the owl?
What do you mean about the owl?
Perseus's owl. In the 2010 remake, they find the owl. They actually have the owl, and it's like doing its little thing, and he's like, "Leave that stupid thing here," and they leave it there, and they leave without it because
I must have skipped that. That would have made me even more angry. Okay, should we just get this over with when we rant and rave about this 2010 movie? So the first thing that's wrong about it is it has this sort of like postmodern anti-religion thing. Like it's mocking people who believe in Greek mythology and the literalism of Greek mythology. So it's sort of like it's spun on its head of, well, the humans have to pray to you and it keeps us immortal. And it's like it totally changes the dynamic between the humans just being God's creations and stuff. So it just completely changes that dynamic. And then in doing so, because Zeus is, as Snorty said, just a randy old goat, now it becomes sort of weird that he's, taken on these forms. And then the bitterness and jadedness between him and Perseus, it's like anti-God. The humans are anti-God. It completely changes the Perseus adventure thing. Like the whole arc that you were praising about this movie, Ironcaster, doesn't work in the remake because he hates the gods. He doesn't want their gifts. He doesn't want their help. Screw you, old man. You killed my parent, my earthly parent. It's just everything about it was just trash from a story arc. It just completely ruins the adventure and quest element. That's before I get to ranting and raving how bad the CGI and the slow motion Zack Snyder effects are. Oh God, I hate it so much.
We were right.
3D.
Yep.
Don't forget 3D.
Oh,
because you got to remember this came out the year after Avatar. Everything is trying to cram in 3D, even if it wasn't filmed in it.
That's right.
I didn't even view it from the lens if it would be okay in 3D, but I know that the slow motion effect was way worse than even the bad CGI. Because the bad CGI was not as irritating as I remembered it to be, but the slow motion effect, again, it screws up why this classic one is so much fun. You know what I mean?
Can you tell Zack Snyder was in vogue in Hollywood at the time?
Oh yeah, you can. It's awful. It was awful. So. I'll get off my soapbox about the 2010s. I could not handle it. I hated it. I may never sit through it again. I may even own this stupid. I think a Blu-ray disc that has all 3 movies on it. And I got it as a gift, I think, to replace the DVD version of Clash of the Titans, but it came with the other 2. I don't even know. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the other room with the shelf. I can't do it.
If you find it, fast forward to the part where they're about to leave to go on the adventure. And when they're in the barracks, that's when Perseus finds the owl and he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Leave that stupid thing here."
Oh my gosh. I just can't. Well, he threw the sword away. It's like, screw you. I don't want your stupid sword. It's like, okay, it's just this he's turning Perseus into this just bitter, jaded character that I don't want to root for. And Sam Worthington can't act anyway. So the fact that we're going to make his character oh, come on. Tell me that I'm wrong. Sam Worthington plays Sam Worthington. That's it. He's Jake Sullivan because that's the only version of himself he can play.
They used him and they like rapid fired him into all these movies, yes. Clash of the Titans and Avatar and Terminator. And he's the exact same person doing the exact same role over and over and over again.
Yeah. It's for some reason, they were trying to turn him into a leading man, and they forgot to check for the fact that he actually has no acting chops at all, and actually appears to have no ambition to be a better actor. Like, listen, I will go out there with the hot take and say, look, a lot of Tom Cruise movies is just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. I got it. Sam Worthington just being Sam Worthington. Okay, I get it. You can have a career. The difference is Tom Cruise went out and actually has a diverse element of a whole bunch of other movies and things that, have stretched the range. Everything from like the tropic, even like a Vanilla Sky and stuff like, and then you get to Magnolia and obviously there's several others. But I've never seen anything I thought, oh man, that Sam Worthington, he really could bring it. That was really good. I've never said that in my life. And watching that remake reminded me of how bad he is. So,
And a small little thing of defense. They did go like 0 to 100 on his career.
yeah.
And he was in one movie. It's like he even said for 3 years, as soon as he got done filming something, he was immediately on another project, filming another project. There was no in between. There was no time to breathe. There was no nothing. It was project until Hollywood burned it out. And we're like, okay, we're on to the next one.
Yeah, because I'm looking over his IMDb here, and it is like every year for that entire decade where he has at least like 1 to 4 movie credits.
We did like 10 movies in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So he basically Avatar and Terminator Salvation come out at the same time, right? 2009. And then he has, 5, 7, 10, 11 movies that come out in 5 years. So that means he's probably filming 12 to 13 movies over the course of that 5 to 6 year span. That's completely ridiculous. That's old school Hollywood, but that's done not by leads and stuff like that. So anyway, that notwithstanding, I tried IRONCASTER. I gave the remake a few moments of my time. I count that as a watch. I watched enough of that movie to count. I watched over half of it, so it counts as a watch on the old watch list, in my opinion.
Well, my idea was that we did watch both of them and we'd have the comparison. Yes, obviously the 61 is going to be the superior one, but it's worth giving the remake the due diligence of at least acknowledging that it exists.
Yeah.
There
are some cool things that look, I get the technology and the CGI and the witches and even some of the design elements. I'm not totally opposed with all that for Greek mythology. It all starts with story for me, though. It starts with a story, and they change the story so much. Listen, I'm rooting for Liam Neeson to get struck down by someone else, man. I'm not rooting for this Zeus. He is not a good dad. He's a complete a-hole. And even at the end of the movie where they're like parting ways, I'm like, screw both of these characters. I don't care about any of these characters. And then we stuck in this Io chick instead of it being about his love for Andromeda. Screw, I don't care about Io. I don't want her in the mix. No, I don't need some third chick in the middle of all this. What a cluster. Like, we go back to Harryhausen.
Then you'll like the second movie a lot more because most of those people die in Wrath of the Titans.
Yeah, I definitely not watching that. I had press screenings for these things.
You got to see it.
Nope, I don't.
You've already done one. You might as well complete complete the duology.
I'm out. So if I ever find that box, there's only the 1981 Clash of the Titans, and the other 2 discs will just sit in there and gain dust. I will never watch them again. I don't know. No chat. If you don't have enough super chat money in you, I don't believe you. Otherwise, you would have made me watch other things. I don't believe them. What'd you say, IRONCASTER?
You mean you're not going to take out those brand new coasters?
Brand new coasters? No, I don't do that. Slush Fred says a lot of people had followed the footsteps of Ray Harryhausen, like the effects of Ed 209, the original Robocop. Oh yeah. So the stop motion stuff, there's some love for it. A lot of love for it. Definitely through the 80s for sure. So anyone seen Predator, Killer of Killers on Hulu? I liked it. Cool. It's on my to-do list. I have downloaded it, just have not watched it yet. And I've heard positive things. Did either of you give it a watch yet?
Okay, so at first I just watched the first episode and I was not sold. I was not thrilled. I believe my exact words were, "Oh, so now grandma can kill a predator." But after watching the whole thing, and I had to reevaluate a little bit, and yeah, I liked it. It wasn't the best Predator ever, but it was pretty cool and I liked it. It made sense. and I get the first part is more prevalent once you
Is it
see
a
the
movie
whole
or a
thing.
series? I thought it was a movie.
It's a movie. But it's kind of like I wouldn't say
Like
it's
an anthology or something?
exactly like a Quentin Tarantino movie. I don't want to ruin anything for you. I don't want to spoil
So it's like an
anything.
anthology film.
No,
It's got chapters or segments.
it's got chapters, yes, but
Okay, fair enough.
It's not quite like a Tarantino movie. And
So are these chapters done out of order?
no, that's why I'm saying it's not quite like a Tarantino movie. The
Okay.
chapters are, and you'll get it once you start to take it in. You're like, okay, I understand what Loki's talking about. There's a story for each of these characters that are in this movie.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give it a go.
And yeah, I don't want to ruin anything. I don't want to
No,
spoil
I'm
no
going to watch it.
spoilers.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
watch it
so
probably soon.
it's worth watching. It's worth
Yeah.
watching. It's not the best Predator movie, but
It's an
yeah.
excuse for me to watch that and then also watch Predator again. So I will take those kind of connective dots any day and all day. Fred's talking about the homage in Army of Darkness, which we love. And yep, skeleton fight scene. Yep, for sure.
We have plans for you, girly girl.
Yes,
My favorite
indeed.
part of that whole movie when they've got the chains and they're bringing that girl in and she's got that's the best part of Army of Darkness right there.
Shield Wall. What's crazy with these stories recorded in the 3rd century BC, and they're way older than that. I know. Yeah, way older than that for sure. Release the Kraken instead of unleash the Kraken. I know. It's okay. That's why I showed it in the opening scene. And I love the part where the head falls off the statue and begins talking. Oh yeah, Maggie Smith, man, that was a creepy part. Actually, I forgot about how creepy that was. That was one of those things where it happened. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Don't mess with
It does such a great job of reminding you just how powerful the gods are, and that you best not invoke their names lightly. Like, if you dare step on their toes, they are going to smack you down for it.
Yeah, don't mess with the gods.
Yep. Suck Snyder. Such a maroon. I like it.
What a maroon.
Favorite thing about the needed 81 version, the 2000 version might not seem that bad. If I've never seen the 81 version, okay. I suppose that's true, but I also think that people just don't want to watch stop motion and stuff like they used to. So that's part of that equation.
Well, again, you got to realize there's an entire generation that have grown up with CGI being the norm. That stop motion is just kind of this novelty thing that it's far more time consuming to get far less out of it, especially now with AI, where you can literally just type in some command and just poop out a animated video like you want.
Yeah, but I think that it goes back to what Loki, you and I talk about a lot, is that if it's not in the real world, it's only CGI, it doesn't feel tangible and emotionally connected. So when they go back to watching something, I was just telling my son actually on Sunday about King Kong 33. Go watch King Kong 33 again and watch the foreground, the background, and then the stop motion in the middle. It happens more than once, and it's mesmerizing. This was the 1930s, and how you emotionally react to this puppet. It's so well done. By the way,
They've got the metal skeleton. They've still got the metal skeleton that they used for King Kong. All the other bits have obviously fallen off of it, eroded, but the fact that they made that in the 30s,
it's incredible.
That took technical achievement that you do not have today. Why? Because no one wants to take the time. No one wants to take a risk. No one wants to let somebody improvise. It's all got to be CGI and nonsense. And yeah,
well, let me amend your comment slightly. And I have it on my rewatch list. If you had not seen, folks, the Pinocchio 2022 Pinocchio on Netflix, done by Guillermo del Toro, it's stop motion, and it is quite spectacular. So yeah, so there's only a rarity like that. It's like one out of how many dozens, if not hundreds, of movies get made where some person's willing to do it. So the movie's got a young Maggie Smith. Oh yeah, we were talking about her for a minute.
Well, let's not also forget Ursula Andress.
Yeah, I was going to bring her up in a photo here for a minute, and that was definitely a showstopper for me. I got to find a photo of her. Just on the creative side, though, the great. There he is. There's the great Harryhausen going through the film, and here he is with the Kraken. Look at that shot. Oh. People are like, if you could go back time, the things that you would do. These are the kind of things I do. I'd go back and go like, how do I go to where Harryhausen is so I could meet Harryhausen? You know, how do I get to where Rankin Bass was so I could see Rankin Bass when they were doing it's so remarkable, ahead of their time and everything about it. So,
Wouldn't you just love to sit back and watch him work his craft?
yeah. Ursula Andress is just, oh my goodness, she is spectacular. And every moment she was on screen, I was like, can I have more Ursula Andress, please?
The original Bond girl.
She was, and she is still just stunning. And I'm trying, I can't find a still. I'm trying to find one. I hate that IMDb has this movie so out of order. It just makes it such a hassle to share, but we'll get to it eventually. Let's see. There's a movie called Mad God. It seems to pay homage to Ray Harryhausen stop motion. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. And I have to give some credit too. Like, I mean, we always talk about the big things, but even the owl, pretty spectacular stuff. Really
The
good
owl
stuff.
the owl is every kid's favorite character in the film. I know it was mine as a kid.
Yeah, no, mine was like the monsters and stuff like that. The monsters were the coolest thing ever. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it was the boy of sci-fi and fantasy and Star Wars and everything else. It's like the owl's cool. It's fine. That's like that's what my sister like. You know what I mean? But he is really, really impressive. Like, it really is some cool stuff pulling this off.
It's one of those little things that gets worked into the film that I just always kind of took with me. Like when I go play D&D, I'm always like asking the DM, "Can I get a mechanical owl? Like, can I have this as like a little familiar, as a little like pet? I don't want it to do anything. I just want it to like be there with me."
Ironcaster and his toy, a man and his metal owl.
Is it a shock with a screen name like mine that I would like this thing?
No, of course not. It's totally on brand. I get it. We should do a face swap of this. Someone email me that picture, and I'll just do a face swap for Ironcaster. It's Ironcaster looking at his metal owl. That's it. It's good. And I will say, I was shocked by the remake that they even had as much of the same story in place. I kind of had forgot how much of the story was or was not there. So it was at least pleasant. There was at least some backbone of story, but again, they're ruining the main characters and the main motivation, so it doesn't matter as much. But everything in this movie, again, it goes back to these creatures and how they were presented on a budget, how they were able to be pulled off in a way that we hadn't seen. Yeah, I remember chasing this down after that first watch. Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch this again. And I was down the rabbit hole, all that crazy stuff. So, how old are you? So, Ironcaster, when you were talking about school, were you talking about like elementary school, middle school?
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yes, this would have been elementary school. Would have been one of the first times I had seen this film.
Okay.
And every like 2 or 3 years, it always kind of gets brought back up in another classroom, in another grade, at another school. It always sort of winds up in the rotation. So it wasn't just like a particular teacher. It was across general education is by and large what it seems like it was almost a must play.
I know our library had a TV edited version of this because I didn't see the like uncut version until I was probably a teenager.
Crystal is popped in. Hey to see Crystal. Hi there. And
Here to
Fred's
see
giving
the movie.
Fred's giving love for the scene where just the special effects were, again, what they're able to do on a budget is really, really something. And then just, again, good costuming, good makeup.
Calibos
is really good. Very impressive. Kind of a weird motivation. Like, he's just such a jerk of a character. Like, it's an easy villain to hate. and despise. Pulled off brilliantly. I don't.
Even the gods would hate him. Zeus cast him down, struck him, punished him for his transgressions, for having slain all of the Pegasi. He was like Perseus. But he had everything handed to him on a silver platter to have the life of luxury, and he wasted everything. He was punished for it.
Right.
Till old as time, his outer appearance now mirrors what he looks like on the inside.
Yep. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. I wonder. So again, this is one of those actors that was a big deal in the moment because he was coming off of Shogun. And Shogun was this massive TV miniseries event back in the day. So, Neil McCarthy was coming off of that. I don't know what else it would have been like a big deal, but the film did have enough namesakes and things to sell that they could get away with the lead actor not being somebody anybody knew much about or anything. So these performances and the makeup and costuming, all the effects, just was just a really good crowd pleaser, and just holds up. I just enjoy the journey every time I watch it.
It's one of those movies you could throw on just about any time of year, and you'll be here to enjoy it.
The worst case of dermatitis. Oh my gosh, Snorty's. Hey Gap, how you been, buddy? Hope you're doing all right. Good to see you.
Yep.
Louis says, if there's any Harryhausen films on TV, they would be in my house growing up. Yeah, I think so too. I think too, it become an easy. Once the VHS started happening, there was like a dozen of these kind of things that they would just put on for us just to occupy us. Just if we're going to be inside, if it's raining today and we couldn't go outside, the TV didn't, if it was baseball was on, but it wasn't the teams we like. It was like, oh, get one of those VHS tapes to those kids. The kids will leave us alone. Definitely how it was working. So,
and for half of us that we recorded them, you recorded them on TV, you cut out the commercials. And I remember my copy had NBC, whatever it was, movie night or whatever, night at the movies on NBC, Clash of the Titans, until I actually had one that, was my own VHS that I bought that had all the goodies in it.
Yeah, agreed. Gap had the action figures. I tried to find the commercial for them, and I couldn't even find the commercial. So they've got to be pretty hard to get a hold of. So I'm sure if I dug a little deeper and try to change up my searches on some other sites, I probably could have tracked down a commercial showing off action figures. But yeah, this didn't land in the merch. It just didn't have legs. It was just coming at a time where, Star Wars was taking the oxygen out of the room. Trek had come back. Battlestar Galactica was a big deal. There's so many sci-fi things that were booming over the next few years. They just didn't have that sort of jump into pop culture, but it did well. It made good money at the box office, and it's very well thought of, I think, even amongst critics and stuff. So, yeah. The vulture in the movie is also a very scary creature. That's true. I don't know anything about that, Ironcaster. Did that get you too? A little spooky? I don't like the vulture. The vulture was kind of creepy.
Well, the vulture ultimately served the purpose of just acting as transportation. It's a cool monster, but that one I always kind of forget is in the movie.
Yeah. That is pretty creepy. It's pretty intense.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you compare it to everything else we see in the movie. A big bird doesn't hold a candle to the Medusa, the Kraken, Calibos.
Scorpion. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Our good little owl, Bobo.
Oh, look at that shot, man. That's so good. That is so good. This was actually shot. I didn't know this. I was researching. I made a note. I don't know when to drop this little factoid, but I thought it was interesting. It was filmed in large part at the James Bond studio at Pinewood. It's over in the UK. So that was actually interesting. So, I mean, there's different locations they went to, obviously, around Italy and the UK, but some of the stage work was done there where they mostly do a lot of James Bond stuff back in the day. So, yeah, a little bit of a crossover with Ursula Andress as well.
Pinewood was a huge They did Aliens there. They did the James Bond movies there. They did a bunch of movies at Pinewood.
Yeah, it was a huge deal to film over there at Pinewood. The list of movies is long. The studio dates back forever. Obviously, even stuff later on, like, Batman '89 was filmed in large part there. Obviously, they went back and did, I think, Aliens 3. I don't know about Aliens. I think maybe it was.
Aliens was at Pinewood.
Yeah, so the third one was too, I think. The Bond movies were regularly filmed there, of course. I mentioned that. So things that were involving Ridley and Tony Scott, they would obviously be there a lot. And then ultimately, I think it was 2010 or so, didn't they move? That's when they started doing the one in Atlanta. They put the other studio there. So that's how Atlanta got on the radar screen, was because of some of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Just another great shot of the Kraken. Again, that foreground versus puppeteering in the background, being very creative, very interesting.
It's so easy to get lost in it that you don't even think about it's just a movie. Whereas, like, no, this is the Kraken. It is let loose.
Yeah. Snorty, what are you talking to? I don't even know what's happening. I think a lot of people confuse the Kraken with the Gill Man. Oh, I don't think I have that happen very often. I don't think I have anybody doing that. But actually, I just had my son bring up Creature from the Black Lagoon, and didn't think he knew it was called the Gill Man. I don't think he hadn't seen it in so long. He saw it when he was a kid, but hadn't watched it in so long. We ended up down the rabbit hole towards Universal monster stuff and Kaijune. That's how we end up talking about all these different creatures and movies and stuff. So briefly,
I am long overdue for watching the creature movie.
Here's Ray working on the model. Oh man,
yeah.
Paint me like cool. One of your French figures.
They don't do anything like that anymore.
They're not even making models like this for establishing what the design will be for CGI. They're just doing all the renderings all being done. They used to, like, if we go back to like the Star Wars prequels, they were at least making 3-dimensional models of stuff before they did the CGI rendering. So there was sort of like a tangible existence of things that they would get the lighting right. They're working on texture, and that's gone to the wayside too. Look at the details that he's trying to like really bring to life. It really is remarkable. That's why it works so well. Here's a shot of Pegasus. Who's working on Pegasus? Because it's not. Oh, it is. They say it is rare too. They say it's Ray from behind. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. They claim it is. That's what they claim.
Maybe this is from some documentary later on.
It's possible. Yeah. There's a different shot of it. Working on it. Love the posters. We'll get back to the posters and some of the art. Oh my gosh. Talk about just beautiful posters. It's made me want to go try to find some original poster. I was like, I don't even have room. I don't even know where I'd put the thing. Mrs. Pops is going to be so angry. But I'm like, oh my gosh, there are posters that you're just not going to believe. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Pops, what you have to do is you have to give yourself like a frame, and you can like put up a movie poster in it, but you can rotate those. So you can have like 2-3 different posters you can swap out.
I already have this. Okay, so all right, over here, the Batman versus Superman picture with Henry Cavill. That's exactly what that is. It's got like 3 or 4 posters in it, but you know what the problem is? It's so hard to get back there and get it off the wall. I have to clean so much stuff away from there to safely get it down to change it out. It never gets changed out. So we went through Christmas. I never changed it out. There's a beautiful white. It's this really cool Arthur Christmas poster. There's other posters that are in this frame, and I don't do it. So there's no way she's going to buy your theory, even though I totally get what you're saying. But that's what that poster frame is supposed to be for.
I say this, and I'm looking up at one of my own posters. I would buy a bunch of Shout Factory films, and they always come with a movie poster.
Yep.
And I've had Kiss of the Vampire up on my wall for like 3 years now, and I've never swapped this thing out. So
I know. I know.
yeah,
It's like I want to, and I should change it out, but it's probably the thing that gets changed out. That's changed out the least, and the stuff that I'm looking at the window, because the window, we don't ever show the window on camera, right? Because of the sunlight. So those are like they're like these autographed prints. They're not like actual posters. They're like mini posters or promotional posters. So they just kind of stay there because I don't want to swap them out. They're like the really cool meet and greet stuff that I've done. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I never change those, but they need to be changed too. It'd only be fair because I have others that could go there. Yeah, I don't know. But
maybe you should look at getting one of those big old like digital picture frames, and you just swap through photos.
Just move them that way.
Yeah, and we just make it. We get you a big giant one for like movie posters, or we just go get you like an old monitor and we mount that on the wall vertically, and we have that with a separate like wallpaper that just rotates.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. I'd like to have a little screen behind me that just did that. Look at this art, though.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to get worse. The key art for this is just nuts. It's so good.
oh!
I know. That one is, let's see if it tells us. That one's Italian.
Guys, aren't you glad we get all the heads facing each other nowadays?
Yeah. Where it's just a nothing poster. Look at this. That is just spectacular.
It's like a Japanese poster.
Mm-hmm. Another one. Not afraid to just try something different with the space in the background, using the stars. Oh, that was an interesting metaphor. Whoa, goodness.
That's an interesting one for the perspective.
Who is this? This is Spain.
I'm not quite sure it comes off right, but
I'm sure it does. He's Zeus's son. Strike hard and deep, Perseus.
He's definitely saying strike hard.
I'm gonna give them points for trying.
A couple of different ones there. Here's the standard new version that we'll see. I like that one a lot too, because you get all the actors on the side.
That great shot of the Kraken, him on the horse. There's Bobo at the top. Look, he's flying down from up on high. He's the star of the film.
Yeah. I think they duplicate a little bit. This is one of the original VHS tapes. Totally hated that box cover. Didn't like that one.
It's me, Zeus, and I'm not going to do shit.
I remember this one, though. I remember this box cover for sure.
Skylit.
Yeah, this was the standard box cover from back in the day when I was, a kid. So don't remember that one, though. The Spain, I don't know. There's this interesting key art, promotional art. Yeah, just promotional art. And then, let's see, there's another. Here we go, another one. Interesting angle for promotional there. So
must be German.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come back in a second and see what chat has to say. So let's see. Love them posters. Yeah, great to see you popping. Yeah, and no, there's some really good stuff. Isn't that crazy? Really, really good stuff for sure. I know. Yeah, I know. There's some crazy stuff going on up in these posters and promotional material. It was how it was being promoted. I love this overseas promotion. Yeah, that was great. There's our goddesses.
I love the way the dresses are designed with them there, because it makes them look like they are these marble pillars themselves.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
All I think is toga.
Yeah. We don't talk enough about the two-headed. Yeah, that one kind of gets forgotten. That's a good one.
And even the thing is, even the forgotten stop motion bits in this movie are still fantastic in their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, hey, the downside is there's so many great iconic moments that in any other movie this would have been one of the highlights. But this is Clash of the Titans, and you've got the Kraken, you've got Medusa, you've got so much other
Giant
elements in this.
scorpions. Giant scorpions.
Yeah. Yeah, then the ferryman, you just don't, it's a great little effect and doesn't get any love, doesn't get the credit because it's just it's kind of way down the list of the greatness because so many things were just so superior, so amazing.
Well, he was beloved enough to have gotten an action figure in the line.
That's true. So lots of promotional stuff that went through. I think we've gone around. I love that shot, by the way. I thought that was a really good one.
It's a great use of negative lighting.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think there was a great image of Ursula Andress, and it's just criminal. Shame on them. What's going on? Going back through. I'm looking again. Because she popped up, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about her being in this.
I'm just going to look it up, see if I can find a direct image.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we Google it, we'll probably find one, but I have to change the share mode and all the other nonsense that EVMux doesn't like to play now. It's already tricky enough trying to juggle all the nuances with some of these sites and stuff like that. Sure, I'm waiting for that new site to come along, Loki. They could just invent something new like any minute now. Come on, guys. Come on, you.
I know.
Listen, you 16-year-old AI geniuses, get out there and just do it right, please. Let's be done with it.
Unfortunately for everybody, the 16-year-old geniuses never learned how to code in C. So pretty much that's like a completely lost art now.
Oh. Well, there's a little trend happening with like these high schoolers that are making apps and stuff with AI and stuff, and they're getting rich like overnight. Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think we're due for another renaissance of Greek mythology with films today?
I think something has to replace the superhero phase, right? Because the superhero phase is dead. And we're going to have a long, miserable process where they don't want to acknowledge it's dead. And they'll cling to the one success out of like 10 to keep it going for a while longer because they own all of it. There's no licensing, right? So they own so much property they can milk and get merch and stuff like that. But something can come along for sure. I actually said this a little bit in line with my take on Shogun, which is considered one of the better shows in the last couple of years. But I'm like, if there's no follow-up, though, it just becomes one of those great shows that was just like a one and done. So it doesn't have a footprint to spark more shows from that era, more Japanese history, things like that. So in order for the Greek mythology thing or something to land, it would have to be either like a film, but they're going to want to do a trilogy or something. They suck so much, man. I don't know.
You don't want them to do that now either.
No,
because Zeus will be the villain.
Should be a chick.
Zeus will be the villain, and it'll be about him being a man whore and how horrible he is and how horrible he was to Hera. And it's just going to turn into one big Me Too bullshit movie. You don't want them to do anything like that right now.
It's just so unfortunate because it really feels like there are attempts to try to bring it back. I mean, we've seen Gladiator come by a couple times now. We've seen we've seen a few other films from the sort of this era kind of spring up as if we're trying to bring it back, but they never seem to quite catch on, which is unfortunate because there's so many stories you could pull out of Greek myth. I mean, the story of Hades and was it not Persephone?
Persephone, yeah.
Oh, it was
Persephone.
That all the myth of like all the creatures that came about, Poseidon, seahorses. You have of course you have Hercules, and his story's been told about 1 billion times. But there's going to be some other demigods you could also tell stories of. I mean, what about Arachne?
The problem, and it's the same problem they have with Zeus. If you do a story about Hades and Persephone, it's going to be about how Hades locked her in her room and wouldn't let her out to see the rest of the world. They will not show the side of it that you think you're going to get. They will not show her side of it. They will not show any of that. They will just show how horrible and man-like and toxic Hades was, and how Persephone had to struggle and deal with all the boo-boos from the relationship with the Hades, even though that's what she wanted.
Which is so unfortunate because time and time again, we have always seen Hades made out to be the villain. I mean, you look back across a lot of cinema, and you we're talking about Greek mythology. Which god is always made out to be the villain?
Hades is usually made out to be the villain. And what people don't get is Hades wasn't the devil. Hades presided over anyone who died. Not just like, it's not like, oh, a good person died and went up and hung out with Zeus. Didn't work that way. They went to the Elysian Fields, and Hades was in charge of that too. So Hades was like in charge of heaven, hell, and purgatory all at the same time. He was the god of the underworld. When you died, you went to one of three places. You went to the fields, you went to purgatory, which was basically like being lost in the underworld, and then you had hell. So
if I had to kind of be forced to do something with it, you might be better off just trying to lean into something that just hasn't been done at all. Just some other story, some other god, some other, even something like Pan. Just get into something with that. Prometheus has been done to death as well, with so many different efforts to kind of hijack that a little bit. So yeah, it's a little tricky. I don't know what to expect. I think it's up against and has some I know I get a little religious with everything, but I feel like it's up against sort of like that postmodernism, worship nature type stuff. They don't want stuff that's going to be in contradiction to Mother Gaia and that kind of stuff, because it gets in everything, man. It's one of the most distracting elements of the Spawn comic book was Mother Gaia, but I was like, oh my gosh, can we stop talking about freaking Mother Gaia? It's supposed to be about Spawn. Sorry, go ahead, Art.
Oh, so you misunderstand them slightly. Like, the god is the current thing, and the current thing changes day to day.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly what. The answer to your question as we danced around is probably not anytime soon. Maybe there's a mythos or mythology that could be harvested out of something else that hasn't been done in a while or something. I don't know. I don't see this happening yet. Their personas tend to create the Me Too conflict that Loki is accurately bringing up. So I don't see a way around that for sure. So.
Well, the problem is there's a couple of these archetypes of high fantasy that you could go down to explore. I mean, I'm dying to have some more like kind of 1920s esque like Egyptian mummy tomb raiding sort of stories going on, but we can't get those stories because that's seen as like offensive history to the past. We can't do that. We can't go into Africa because we gotta whip ourselves for slavery, even though who was selling the slaves. You can't go into so many other things. There's been so many taboos that have been labeled verboten that we can't do. There's too many constraints upon creativity.
I think it'll work itself. I mean, Robert Rodriguez has talked about trying to get Conan made. He's trying to do Conan proper because he's such a big Robert E. Howard fan. He's such a big fan of Frazetta work and stuff. So it'll take someone independent to kind of bring and shake that free. So
is he gonna be on a Pee Wee Herman bike?
A Pee Wee Herman bike?
Yeah. They're on Pee Wee Herman bikes, like Boba Fett. Now, I just they're gonna twist it. You can't. Don't even bring it up. Don't even bring it up. Don't talk about it because they'll just take whatever you're gonna do and they're gonna twist it. You want something in Egypt? A young female scientist disguises herself as a man to sneak into Egypt, where she's persecuted by the Egyptians for being female. And that's all you're gonna get. Anything you think you're gonna get is gonna get turned and twisted and messed up and crapped on. Better just go back and read the damn stories. Read. You want to get some good stuff? Open a book, ladies and gentlemen, and read the damn stories. Because unless you want to go back and watch shit like this from back in the day, from the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever, you're going to be confronted with a female has been trampled on and her rights have been taken away. We present to you the story where she goes up against the big orange man bad to take back her freedoms and become the ruler of all.
It is, of course, going to be the totally original character, Mississippi Joan, and the emancipation of one Black Cleopatra's tomb.
Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Okay, you guys are killing me. Soul Assassin's talking about how, yes, we can all agree Ray Harryhausen effects are timeless. Indeed.
Absolutely.
I know. Yeah, Soul I know. Modern, I know. No, I know we all agree. Sorry, said they want to show a boss chick show with a story with Artemis in it. Maybe. Rough place. All the monsters are there. Yeah. That was even in like the Disney Hercules thing. They even kind of pile on a little bit too. So for sure.
The one woman to escape Tartarus and become the new queen of Olympus.
Good point. Sorority. It's a little too on the nose for them, but they did it with Loki in the show. They tried to do it with the stupid show. So yeah.
Yes, they did.
Good point. Let's see. I fear more than God of War, the show. Yeah.
Oh,
they're gonna screw that up too.
Heard the Blood of Zeus on Netflix is good. Ironcaster. Blood of Zeus. I don't know. Haven't heard that. I don't know what that is. So
it's the Blood of Zeus.
Well, yeah, but I have no idea what the reference is. Soul Assassin. So
it's a animated Netflix original series about Greek myth.
Okay.
I didn't know about this show. I'm gonna have to check this out. It has 3 seasons out.
Oh wow. I think the other thing too is there's been stuff that gets done and it kind of comes and goes, and there's so much content. It's hard to make the footprint and imprint because of streaming and everything else. There's just so much going on. I'm actually a little surprised. There've been so many people that have been gone back to the theater this summer. I personally don't have any desire to see some of these things, so it's interesting to know that isn't as dead as I thought it was. I'm not saying I think we've turned some sort of corner or anything like that, but I am quite shocked that it has I won't say rebounded, but it has gone the way that it has. I've been surprised. Would not have called it this way for sure.
Well, 71% of entertainment sales doing with movies are all on streaming service. So that's 71% of the entertainment that the United States consumes is all off streaming service. That's 29% for everything else.
Yeah.
Not just movies.
How much of that is also including streaming, like what we're doing?
No. Just we're talking Netflix, Disney Plus.
I don't think it doesn't count podcast. Podcasting is just insane amount of consumption of podcasting. So, but I think so. Examples are movies that are out like right now, like the Karate Kid movie or Ballerina, are like I don't think people hear enough good about them to be like, that's all right. I'll wait till streaming. You know what I mean? And like Mission Impossible, I've been honest. I've said my take on Mission Impossible. Sorry, I know some of you guys have seen it. That's fine. It's 3 hours something long. Yeah, no, not doing it. Miss Pops is not going to sit through a 3-hour movie. No, she's not doing it. It's not happening. So whenever it drops, I'll watch it. I've seen the digital copy. I know what happens. I got it, but they're not getting my cash for that.
Well,
the two biggest movies are kids movies because kids a horror movie. Because a horror movie is kind of an experience. That's why I heard the Final Destination is good. So same kind of thing. So go ahead, Ironcaster.
The other problem that's going on is the shelf life, the half-life for pop culture in the zeitgeist is so incredibly short. There is an infinite more amount of things that are trying to pick at your time, where you'll stop and say, "Yeah, I could go to see the movies this weekend," or maybe I'll go pick up that new Warhammer box set. And I'll get together with the boys, or the new Space Marine DLC just dropped. Maybe I'll sit down and play that this weekend.
Talk Cards tonight at 5:30, and I heard Loki's going to bring back Taco Tuesday at 7, and Ironcaster's going to be on with T-Shirt Historian, and Zach's is Wednesday night, and Roman's Thursday night, and you know what I mean? There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, I think we've covered that one. I think okay. Snorty. Snorty says they make a movie where they stuck in the original story, else some of them are hard to imagine. Zeus would change himself into so many things to fool Hera and have some snoo.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of a rough story. Like, I get it. It is,
And Hera is his sister.
yeah.
Even some of the
We'll talk
kids
about
are
that.
they're not their kids. They're siblings that just got the role of being their kids. It's not like Hera and Zeus were like, boop, let's make babies.
Mm-mm.
It's not like Hercules where let's do that. Oh, a baby. No, it don't work like that.
So yeah, all in all, just to score, Clash of the Titans 81. For me, I'm very biased because it came out in that sort of like special time in my life. Like, it's so I score very high on it, way too high. For me, it's like a 4 out of 5. I watch this all the time. I love this movie. It's like special. It's in that special camp where you give it like bonus points because it's special. So it doesn't deserve that high. It probably is more like a 3.5, like the 7 out of 10, sort of like is really the more fair thing. But it's just a regular thing for me. It's special. So it's kind of like Tron. It's in the same category. It gets bonus points for being special. So that's how I feel about it. What about you, IRONCASTER?
So it's one of those movies that is really tough to take the personal connection away from it, because again, this is a movie I've seen countless times over my lifetime, and every time I'm still kind of wowed by it. Like, I was when I was that little kid watching it for the first time. So long ago, I can hardly remember what was the first time. So the issue is, I really love this movie. This is one of those films for me that is up on that top shelf. In fact, just between you and Pops, it might have made that list for me of films that you asked me to put together. So with that, I'm gonna say this one I feel like is a perfect 10. This is just one of those perfect fantasy movies to throw on that makes me want to go read more mythology. It's a movie that opens the door for me to want to go get more into this world. Like, what about the other gods? What about the demigods? What about the other like creatures of mythology, like the Minotaur? What about all of these things? I would love to see more films like this with that. But
Check out
sadly,
Hercules, The Legendary Journeys.
Kevin
Yeah.
Sorbo, absolutely.
Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, Legendary Journeys. You're going to get a lot of that.
I was actually just planning to pop the DVDs up for that back in this week, so that'd be perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna. This is one I'm holding up. I'm gonna go ahead and play and give it the rare 10 out of 10, 5-star movie.
That's how I got it. I love the fact that you also are like explaining why you feel that way, and I get it. I can relate very much to your special thing. Tron is probably closer to that than this one is for me, because Tron was that I was a little bit older and it was the computer stuff. It was like, whoa, what is happening? Like, I definitely feel that way. And I also think that the problem for me too is because Excalibur and Conan are so much better than this. No offense to this film, they deserve a little bit more credit. Like, Conan got Robert E. Howard books and like the comics and the graphic novels, and then of course Excalibur is like this, Arthur legend. It's just they all get some credit for taking that, so they kind of split the baby and the love for me for the fantasy genre in that way. So, how about you, Loki? How do we score something like this? This is a tricky one. Indeed.
Indeed, and I'm gonna give it an 8, and it's for almost the exact same reasons you do. We had Excalibur, One Land, One King, which was absolutely awesome. I loved watching Excalibur back in the day. We had this movie, we had other movies, we had Conan, and I mean, Conan to me is a better movie than this movie. So is Excalibur, but this is a great movie, and the only thing I think did more for Greek mythology and getting people interested in Greek mythology is Kevin Sorbo. What I brought up earlier, the Kevin Sorbo Hercules series was great at having this like kind of, because this movie, there are some campy moments to this movie. There's some camp in Hercules too, but you definitely get the feeling like this could be all in the same universe, the same campy, weird universe. In fact, I think Perseus at one point was in. I know Jason was. I know Jason and the Argonauts were. I know you actually see Hercules go with Jason and the Argonauts. I'm pretty sure Perseus is in there somewhere. You've got all this mythology, you've got all these tools to go with. It is a shame that they cannot do something like this today. Like you mentioned earlier, that you've got to have this hatred towards the gods and all this I hate you and you killed my family and you were never there for me and blah 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 blah. When this movie's like, Perseus, I'm your dad. I'm going to give you all this cool shit. You've got to go on this adventure. You've got to be successful. You've got to do this. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be your old man that I never got to be before now. And he goes on an adventure and he has a great time. The fact that they've got to deconstruct that and then change it into what they want, that's the problem. That's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
And we've seen it do it with countless other IPs. They're just not safe. And thank God that this is an old movie. They're never going to go back and really alter this. Yes, you have like a TV version that used to play all the time, but there's nothing there that would prevent you from showing this to your kid or letting them grow up thinking about, Zeus and Perseus and the Kraken and all this crazy stuff. So it's great. And I loved Poseidon. Poseidon was my favorite back in the day. I loved seeing Poseidon release the Kraken. So that was always like, that's so cool. Because even he's kind of terrified of it. Even him when he's watching it, he's just like, I'm just going to like chill down here while you go and destroy because you're a Titan and I'm just a god. That was so cool. And the fact that we did not get that at all in 2010 version. It was all Hades in control of everything. It sucked. I wanted to see Poseidon.
Yeah, they changed it completely and made it like he's like, it's my baby. It's like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, I don't want to get back to that. Go rewind the clock, guys. And you can hear me rant about the 20. It ticked me off, man. I was
so you gave it a 4 out of 10?
Yeah, 4 out of 10.
That's about right.
Oh, not
probably.
That. Oh.
And its rewatchability is so low, it probably deserves even lower than that because I don't want to watch it. It's like it ruins the hero's journey of this. Like it's Perseus growing to be a king and a man and winning this woman that everyone's oohing and on for. And he's like, listen, I'm going to respect it because she has to stay pure because she's going to be the only way to save her is she is sacrificed. So we're going to wait till our wedding. I'm going to earn her. I'm going to do this all the right way and earn my kingdom and save everybody. And it's a massive hero's journey type story. And instead, the 2010 film is all about, we hate these gods. Rah! And let me get this, it's like, screw your sword, Zeus. You killed my earthly daddy. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so retarded.
And forget about the princess. We've got this like immortal chick called Io.
There's another chick who gets to like an arrow and she's dead, but I'm going to bring her back because, by the way, let's pause. Daryl the Derelict's in the house. Brother, how have you been? Great to see you, my friend.
Greetings, program.
Greetings to you, indeed. And hey, stayed up all night watching the premiere on HBO. Man, yeah, it's an old school reference, man. Let's take us back to our days. Back in 81. That's right. Would have been in the fall, winter even. So, any hope for Nolan's Odyssey? I don't know. IRONCASTER, what do you think?
I'm probably gonna wind up seeing it because what the heck? I'm here. I am saying I want more films like this, and I feel like I ought to, put my money where my mouth is and go support these films to be made. That said, I'm kind of feeling a little indifferent on this film, but I'm at the very least interested enough to actually want to get out of the house. I need to get out of the house a little more often, and it's a good enough excuse.
Interesting. I am very meh on it. I'm not impressed with the cast for Odyssey. I think that Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, and Robert Pattinson and Elliot. I'm not calling her Elliot Page. I'm just not. I'm not participating.
I forgot how many of these actors I don't like during this.
Yeah, I'm not
Assholes.
I'm just not participating because other than like John Bernthal, there's not a single person. Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Maya Goth.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Who will just look like Matt Damon, even if he can act and do things. He just they never do anything, so he actually doesn't just look like Matt Damon. And listen, I'm a dude who just recorded a review for Ford v Ferrari, and he's fantastic, but he just still looks like Matt Damon the whole time. He doesn't actually look like Carroll Shelby at all. Anyway, that notwithstanding, my bigger issue with the Odyssey, Soul Assassin, is because Christopher Nolan was praised for Oppenheimer. And I think Oppenheimer is a bloated, boring film. It's got 20 to 30 minutes we don't need. It's a beautiful film, and it does so many things right, but it needs to be edited down. And he's gotten so many accolades for that. I'm worried that it taught him the wrong lesson. And we're going to get a 3-hour epic that's going to be like a snooze fest. It won't be an action-packed Odyssey that we're supposed to actually get. It's full of a bunch of insufferable humans. Cannot believe it. They're going to put Zendaya in the Odyssey, guys. How on earth? Sell me on that. Unless she's a villain, which I know she's not. There's no way you're selling me on Zendaya being in the Odyssey. No.
Can we feed her to the Kraken?
Well, there won't be a Kraken in Odyssey. I assure you that's what it won't be about. I don't know. I don't know.
I just want to see her fed to a big monster and then she's killed off and we get to move on as though she's not in the movie.
The problem is she's being sacrificed to the Kraken. It's making her out to be like she's the pretty one. She's the one that we're all supposed to be. What? Like not? No.
See, in my take, the Kraken's more like the garbage disposal. And we're just trying to get rid of the trash.
Yeah, I don't think we know we don't even know who she's playing.
Herculia.
Oh dear Lord.
The strongest woman in the world.
She's clearly playing, Aphrodite, the most beautiful woman in the world. While you might see her actually make an expression.
Solstice is bringing up the Armand Assante one. I remember that vaguely, but I don't even know how to find it. Yeah, that's interesting. Armand Assante actually has some gems from back in the day. His Gotti movie is fantastic. It was like a TV HBO type movie or something. It was fantastic. So
Barnes
I
and
mentioned,
Noble.
yeah.
Barnes and Noble. They edited at Barnes and Noble, I think, the last time I was there.
From A to B, you're being kind, Snorty. I'm not even sure there is. She has resting witch face like the whole time. It's completely just god awful. So yeah, we don't come across as being particularly thrilled about that. So I'm going to say what I am thrilled about, by the way, is in a little bit we're going to get some Taco Tuesday. So make sure we're going to get out of here a little early. Make sure he gets a chance to, hit the bathroom and redo his drinks and make sure he's got his juice going so he can treat everybody some Taco Tuesday.
Appreciate that.
So, hey man, I can't wait. And I get, some Wednesday love. It's going to be a good day tomorrow for me. I'm looking forward to it. So, but folks, make sure you check out the description. All the stuff's there. Go over to Stone Loki's thing and check that out. For sure, we're doing that. Ironcaster's going to be on a t-shirt later.
Yep, I think we're having on Mildred the Monk to talk about a Final Fantasy RPG he was putting together. So a little bit of a fan work of love there, but yep, got that coming up. You can find me over my channel Monday nights, at the very least, where I'm doing Mech Pit Chat. We're talking about big robots and some pop culture, sci-fi fun. I might do a couple random streams during the week where I'm painting minis, and I have so many little guys to paint up, so we might just do that. Little hangout chill. People are welcome to kind of come hang out and chit chat.
There we go. Yeah. That's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah, I am. My video tomorrow is my another episode of the old Pops Talk, where I just cram in little 5 or so minute reviews of different movies that we've been watching. Just a quick hitting little thing. People have enjoyed the fact that you just do chapters, so kind of like I can ping around to the ones they want to hear me rant and rave about and move on, I think. And then I'll kind of make them up in little short clips later on, but that'll drop tomorrow. And we'll be back on Thursday here doing my first watch reaction to a Christopher Nolan film. I've never seen Insomnia. And yeah, I'll be on with the Gourd King. We'll talk about the Insomnia. I had not watched it. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I talk about how I guess I skipped it. I don't know. But we do that first watch thing. And I think next week's first watch will be a weird, obscure is a better word. Not a weird, obscure 80s sort of romantic fantasy, whatever, called Electric Dreams, which is on Tubi. And it's sort of like way ahead of its time with like AI and sentience. And it's got tons of great ideas, just not always the best execution. 80s money, lack of money, that kind of thing. So anyways, that'll be next week's first watch. So folks, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you're subscribed to these guys. SQUEEKA will be back with us. She's got some stuff going on that kind of kept her away from us, but she may be even out there listening. I don't know. She'll catch us after the fact. We love you, SQUEEKA. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. And all you wonderful folks in chat, you guys are amazing. Can't thank you enough for being here. We will do some more kaiju, more creatures and monsters. Next week, we'll be doing an epic. It'll be an interesting take because we've already done a little thing on King Kong 33. So we'll do a King Kong 2005, the Peter Jackson version. How did he do? How does it hold up? I just showed my grandson, the T-Rex versus Kong sequences because he had never seen that. And it was like, oh, you got to see this, man. So yeah, we'll be talking Kong next week. And the schedule's starting to come together for Sandler summertime and some other stuff coming up. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, folks, you guys be blessed. Gentlemen, thank you again. Make my week. Everything hinges on how we talk hard. So appreciate you for all of that. Everybody else, you guys be blessed. Talk hard. Until next time, I am Pops. Take care, everybody.
Bob Ross, you'll never see me tripping. Got the vision, I don't even need assistance. Bob Ross.